Hello, we're the Boss Ladies, and today we're being discussing Santa Rosa Memorial Hospital's reaction to the Kincade fire. My name is Emily Rumisek. I'm going to begin this presentation with a brief background, as well as talk about their response to scheduled surgeries.
Hi, my name is Chhaya Patel, and I will be talking about steps taken to ensure care in the community as well as how care was expanded.
Hi, my name is Jordan Joseph, and I will be talking about the response after the fire was contained and steps taken to assist homeless patients and staff.
Hi, I'm Katie Schmidt, and I'm going to be talking about the assessment of leadership actions exhibited and do our closing remarks.
The Kincade fire was the largest fire of the 2019 California wildfire season. Approximately 180,000 residents were advised to evacuate the county. This was the largest evacuation in Sonoma County. As you can see in the chart on the right, approximately 78 acres were burned over the course of 13 days. This fire damaged 60 structures as well as destroyed 374 more. The hospital responded to scheduled surgeries ultimately by canceling any imaging, procedure, or surgery that could be rescheduled without being life-threatening to the patient. This showed leadership because canceling elective surgeries allowed a higher number of physicians to be used to treat patients in need of emergency care. Canceling these surgeries also provided the hospital with more space to house healthcare workers as well as patients in need of a place to stay. Overall, the hospital had to make an important ethical decision to ensure that all the patients remained safe while the hospital ran as smoothly as possible. During the fire, non-elective surgeries were performed, as well as the labor and delivery units remained open. Fortunately enough for the hospital, the fire began on a weekend where there were already a minimal number of elective surgeries scheduled, so it did not impact them too much to cancel those surgeries.
The hospital's emergency department welcomed every patient that came to seek help. The lead ER nurse, Axberg, mentioned that no matter how difficult the days were, every staff member continued to care for any patient that needed help. The hospital turned to their community partners when they were short on supplies and the shipping companies were delayed in transporting vital resources, such as feeding tubes. Thankfully, there were other companies that the hospital were able to turn to, and this demonstrated the importance of a network during a crisis. Additionally, staff from closed sites came to help the hospital and worked alongside with their peers. This proved efficient and allowed almost every specialty to have an attending physician. To accommodate the increased number of patients, a flexibility request was passed, which allowed the hospital's cardiac catheterization lab waiting area to accept patients in the afternoon. The hospital also created a distinct area for behavioral health patients, which assisted patients with mental health or psychiatric services. The Santa Rosa Memorial Hospital van included 2 exam rooms and were mainly treating homeless patients. The picture illustrates how the signage informed patients of the option to use the mobile care van or the emergency department. However, this violated regulatory requirements such as EMTALA because it made it difficult to pivot patients from the waiting room to the van to empty the facility. EMTALA is a federal law that requires anyone coming to an emergency department to be stabilized and treated. And due to the instability in transporting patients, this regulatory requirement was violated and resulted in the van only being used by a small number of patients.
Many hospitals in the area had to evacuate, leaving Santa Rosa Memorial Hospital with an influx of patients. To combat this obstacle, the hospital's leaders scheduled caregivers for more days and longer hours. Additionally, they added 6 more patients to their usual baseline of 24 providers, and they even saw patients in the waiting room. If that wasn't enough, providers from neighboring hospitals that had to evacuate were sent to Santa Rosa Memorial to assist with the increasing number of patients. To accommodate families who were displaced by the fire and staff who needed somewhere close to rest, the Petra team worked with the Santa Rosa Memorial Hospital's leadership team. They made temporary homes for patients and staff who had to evacuate. They used 3 adjacent apartment houses and unused space from a skilled nursing facility that had been suspended for patient care. However, this took several days after evacuation to get the homes fully set up.
In summary, the effective actions that the hospital took were taking immediate action as soon as people were evacuated due to the Kincade fire, and they ensured the safety of all their staff so that they can continue care. They used their resources wisely and they collaborated with other healthcare groups in order to provide the best care possible. The not so effective actions they took were not being able to successfully use the mobile caravan, as well as they had a little bit of difficulty in assisting the other staff who came in from other hospitals to get acquainted with their specific hospital. As we have learned throughout this course, there are many leadership styles that leaders can display. One of the main styles of leadership that is exhibited in this case is team leadership. The hospital's sense of community and common goal of providing proper healthcare throughout the wildfire is what made the whole event go smoothly. The leaders of the Santa Rosa Memorial Hospital mainly exhibited leadership styles of Quadrant B of Herman's whole brain thinking model because they had to remain calm during a crisis, but they did have a plan based off of previous wildfires that made things go better than they did during those previous wildfires. The leaders of the hospital also displayed exceptional situational leadership as they had to change everything in an instant as soon as hundreds of people were displaced due to evacuation. In this situation, leaders of the hospital both held legitimate power from their position and expert power from their knowledge and skills in healthcare leadership. Here is our bibliography with all of our resources. And in our next video, we will just be discussing our recommendations for the Santa Rosa Memorial Hospital during the Kincade fire.